Thank you so much for joining us with all of those updates. Shifting focus now to some more information that is coming in. Saudi Arabia has deported the highest number of Indian nationals globally in recent years, including over 11,000 in 2025 alone, according to India's Ministry of External Affairs. While much attention focuses on deportations from Western countries, data shows Gulf nations led by Saudi Arabia account for the majority due to strict enforcement of immigration and labor rules. Here are the main reasons cited for these deportations, particularly affecting low-skilled workers in construction, domestic help and caregiving. Firstly, of course, there is overstaying beyond the validity of visa or residency card, the most common violation. Saudi law requires expatriates to renew their IQAMA, which is the residency permit, on time. Failure to do so triggers fines that accumulate daily, detention during routine checks, as well as eventual deportation. Overstays often stem from job loss, employer delays in renewal, or workers unaware of expiry dates. Repeat offences can lead to permanent re-entry bans. Now, secondly, there is working without a valid work permit. Expatriates must work only for their registered sponsors, which is known as the kafala system. Freelance work, switching jobs without transfer approval, or employment on a non-work visa, for example, a visit visa or for a pilgrimage, is illegal. Violators face immediate arrests, fines and deportation. This includes free visa arrangements where workers pay for sponsorship but seek unauthorized jobs. Thirdly, you have violating labor regulations. Now, this covers a range of issues such as unauthorized employment for third parties, withholding of wages leading to disputes, or breaches like not adhering to contract terms. Saudi authorities conduct frequent inspections. Non-compliance results in penalties for both the worker and the employer, often ending in deportation to enforce Saudi policies prioritizing local hiring. Fourthly, you have absconding from the employer, which is known as the hurub status. When a sponsor reports a worker as absent from work, the employee's legal status collapses. This can happen due to genuine disputes, for example, unpaid wages and abuse, or maliciously by employers. Once flagged, workers risk arrest, detention, fines, deportation and multi-year re-entry bans. Reforms allow limited grace periods for resolution, but many cases still lead to removal. Now, you also have facing civil or criminal cases as well as involvement in legal disputes, ranging from traffic violations and unpaid debts to serious crimes. This can trigger deportation after penalties are served. Even minor unresolved civil cases, such as financial claims, may prevent exit until cleared, leading to overstay and deportations. So, those are the details of what the Ministry of External Affairs has stated and all of the reasons that can have led to that situation. I have with me Ambassador KP Fabian, former diplomat, joining me as we of course take a look at this big story. Sir, firstly, of course, so I'm learning that we're trying to reconnect with Ambassador Fabian over there, but these are the details that we just took you through. Of course, somewhat surprising claims that are coming in with, we have Ambassador KP Fabian, former diplomat, back with us on the broadcast. Sir, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're taking a look at this somewhat surprising piece of information that has been shared by the Ministry of External Affairs, where, Saudi Arabia tops the list when it comes to have deporting Indians, with 11,000 deported in 2025 alone. Firstly, of course, I would like to get your perspective on that. What is your first reaction when we learn that, Gulf nations led by Saudi Arabia lead when it comes to deporting Indians?
Morning. Thank you. I also have seen the report, and I personally think the report, the headlines certainly are rather getting it wrong. There is no question of comparing the numbers between Saudi Arabia and the United States, because in Saudi Arabia they are not changing the visa rules from time to time, as in the United States President Trump has done. And also another difference is that in Saudi Arabia we have about 25 to 27 lakhs of our people, most of them workers, and the deportations have occurred mainly because of overstay of visa, overstay of permission to work, or any other violation of the labor code. Now, this is not to be compared with what President Trump has done in terms of, suspension of interviews for H-1B visa and other matters. So we have to look at these things differently. And as regards Saudi Arabia, our government, through our embassy in Saudi Arabia, is constantly in touch with the Saudi authorities to take care of the interests of our workers to the best extent possible. Nevertheless, I should add, having been Joint Secretary Gulf in the MEA, that the Saudis can be difficult at times.
Well, yeah, absolutely, sir. And we took a look at all of the reasons that could have led to this higher number of deportations, and a lot of it has to do with labor laws and the situation for laborers, Indian migrant laborers, in fact, that are working in Saudi Arabia. So when we take a look at all of these systems that are in place over there, you have the kafala system, you have the hurub status. How do we ensure protection for this, this class of people, the migrant workers who have gone over there? Because even after deportation and coming back, they continue to face so many problems, and problems in gaining re-employment as well, not just there but in India also. So how do we ensure protection for these migrant workers?
There's two parts to it. One is that we should engage more with Saudi Arabia, and when state visits take place, of course the accent is on investment, the accent is on defense cooperation, the accent is on hydrocarbon and things like that. Understandable. But along with that, the question of the status of workers and the treatment which is accorded to them should also figure. And I am afraid that has not been figuring sufficiently prominently. Second, as regards those who come back to India, well, that is something which the state government and the central government together have to deal with. And there again, there is the absence of a coordinated, well thought through plan of action.